Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Branders Podcast. I'm your host, Arab, along with my co-host, Edwin. And today we have on a very special guest, a woman who makes the money in the family. Her name is Alexandra Tenny. You guys might have heard of her before. VP of Skinny Mixes, as well as a not-so-internet celebrity in a family of internet celebrities.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, Alex.
That pretty much sums it up, I guess. I just always say that I'm like the Tenny that no one's heard of, and I like to keep it that way.
Yeah, well, after this, because this is going to get 1 million views, you're going to be famous.
Dude, I, when I was streaming this morning, people were like, oh, who are you having on the podcast? I was telling them I had to like get off like soon. I was like, it's one of the Tenny siblings. And they're like, Jack or Turner. I was like, bro, there's four of them, bro. Like, people don't know that, which is funny to me.
And I'm the most talented one, so it's
by far.
You program, don't you?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yep, my dad made me learn when I was 12.
Yeah, so, it's fun. Programming's fun.
Yeah, but it was interesting.
Why did Richard have you learn programming when you were 12? Like, what convoluted scheme?
It was because of Facebook. Like when Facebook first came out, when it was just like on Harvard, when it was the
Oh my God, you were 12.
Yeah, like
You're
I was
old.
literally 12.
Whoa.
Yes. Anyway, so I learned PHP at first because of Facebook. Right, I was like, this is it. If this is what this guy's doing, we have to do it. So yeah, learned code when I was 12.
So you worked for Mark?
Oh yeah.
No.
I knew that coming. Like with all of us, he knew that YouTube was going to be big. He knew that Twitch was going to be big. He knew that social media was going to be huge. So he wanted me kind of in the forefront of the back end of it. So I learned code and I was learning how to make apps and all this crazy stuff.
So being, Joogsquad sister, being Tfue's sister, you decided not to be an online personality. You've got Pierce also going that same way. Is it because you were older, you were ahead of them, it wasn't your thing? Is it just because you were so talented at coding? How did you end up being the one that isn't in content? Because like me, for my family, we're a bit like more fresh blood into the internet scene than yours. But my older brother does marketing online for ads. So he grows socials, but paid. He grows companies paid. I grow things organic, and now my little brother's hopping into the scene. Like our whole family is like a creative content creation like hive, I guess, or hub. How did you end up being outside of that? Like, why do you think you took a different path?
I think I was just raised a little differently than the boys. Since I was like the oldest child, I was the test child. My parents wanted me to do like the path that you're supposed to do, like get a job, go to college. So I guess it's not that my parents didn't give me like as much time as the boys. It was just I was doing what I was supposed to do, and I just ended up taking a different path.
Yeah.
Where Max started YouTube when he was 13 and never really, didn't have to get a job. Like that just happened to be his thing. Like same thing with her. So I just like ended up taking a different path, and I like dabbled in social media, and it was just, I'm really sensitive. So I would get like one mean comment and I would cry for like 3 days. And I was like, I'm way too sensitive for this stuff. So yeah, I just found myself enjoying that so much more, and just realizing that I'm just too sensitive to be an internet personality. And like, I value my relationships with people so much that I just didn't like branding myself. It just felt very like ingenuine to me.
What, like branding yourself when you're with?
Just being like a personality online.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Right.
Like branding your life, like you as a person. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I feel like the thing about you that's cool is that I feel like anyone else would maybe have gotten wrapped in the fact that like the entire family was doing that and like kind of like shoehorn themselves into that situation, but you didn't. You're like, yeah, this isn't for me. You're like,
Yeah, I just accepted that just wasn't something that I wanted to do, because I would get too into my head and like how, you have to create like this whole persona. And then I was like, is my persona going to be who I really am, or is it going to be this? Yeah, I don't think I have the personality or like the thick skin to be famous.
I was just talking to the boys yesterday about like not having the personality to be on YouTube. Like I don't feel like I'm a YouTuber, because to be on YouTube you have to have like a different, hey, what's up everybody?
Yeah.
And it's
like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Welcome to the video. If you guys enjoy the video, you know, and I don't have that. I just like, I'm me, and I get on the fucking vlogs and I'm like, yo, what's up, pussies? You know, and it's not the
Dude,
YouTube.
you know what's funny? Air, one time you were streaming, you're in the other room, and I never told you this because it just never got brought up, but like me and Omi were sitting in the living room and we're talking to somebody. I forget who we were talking about. But we were talking about how like streamers they're always like a little bit extra than like what they usually are. And Omi was like, well, name a streamer that isn't like that at all. And we named two, and you were one of them. I don't remember who the other one was. We were like, yeah, Arab just fucking flips the stream on and fucking brushes his teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just on some regular shit. But like most people, and like myself included, like I always try like you treat your stream like it's just fucking like you're just live.
Yeah,
like
you have a stream personality for sure.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. But it's also a byproduct of like
of you
almost being taught of like having a YouTube personality.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Also, like not being your stream personality is just you being super safe, really. Too,
Yeah,
you know, like it's you not being TOS and making sure you don't fucking push the line on Twitch. I'm just, you know, I don't fucking care. I'll get banned eventually.
That's funny because that's actually like his plan. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get banned in the next like 2 to 3 years. Like that's actually his plan.
Well, it's
like,
not
he
a
knows
plan.
that, which
No,
is
I'm not
hilarious.
planning it.
No, you're planning it.
No,
He's manifesting it, if anything.
I'm planning for it. They watch what you say on other socials now.
Yeah, that's what Jack did with like his arrest. Like he knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, but that motherfucker pulled an illegal stunt.
Yeah. The loss.
So, what does your job entail since you're not on the social media?
I mean, I do our whole like social media strategy. Up until about a month ago, I was still like the one that was like posting on Instagram and like doing TikToks and all that. TikTok has become like a huge part of my job, but the main thing is like the entire digital strategy. Basically everything that you see like on a computer screen or on your phone, I touched in some way. So easiest way to put it.
So if people wanted to DM you, they could DM Skinny Mix's Instagram.
Yeah. I'm not like
y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it. Yeah, sure.
But yeah. So I mean, you guys know I have like a small social media presence of my own, but I just treat it as a joke.
Oh yeah, it's a good one though. I like it. It's funny. I think, dude, Alex, I think you should write a book. I think you should write a book about the things you tweet, and I think that's how you'd become a personality, because the shit you tweet sometimes just has me fucking dying. You know what she fucking texted me one time? She goes, yo, I didn't realize that I didn't unadd you for my close friends list. She's like, my close friends list on Instagram is literally just girls and you. And I was like, Alex, don't unadd me. We're homies, all right? Because she like talks shit about dudes and shit, and I be sipping the tea and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
I be sipping the tea.
I was gonna create. Well, I have like a secret TikTok because it's like I don't want it to be like.
Oh, no, that's
a thing.
great. Good thing you said that online, and they're not gonna find it.
It's funny. Like I started doing stuff on my TikTok. It'll be like what I post like on my regular story, and then what I post to my close friends, because it's usually the same thing, but I do like a different like caption or something to let people know like what's actually going on. So, yeah.
You know they're gonna find it, right?
No, I know it's bound to happen, but I feel like TikTok seems secret land.
Dude, I feel like Alex is gonna accidentally become super famous for no fucking reason. Like she's gonna do something on TikTok. Dude, I'm telling you, if you converted some of your tweets to TikToks, like for sure. It's just it's relatable irony, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what were you saying? I am writing a book, and that's kind of why I've been like dabbling into social media, because I'm gonna have to promote it somehow. Like no one's just gonna read. Yeah, I've been writing a book since I was like 13, just about like what's going on up here. Just like, you know, shit that makes me sad, I write down.
So the book is just sadness?
No, it's not sadness. It's just kind of like, you know, going through life and like life lessons and stuff. And then it's kind of more turned into a lot more of like about dating. And yeah, I'm going to call it not girlfriend material.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that what people say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's a theme of life. So it's kind of, yeah, what I'm writing about now.
Why is that?
I had actually an ex-boyfriend explain it to me the other night, and I was like, oh my God, I'm writing like 6 chapters about this. He was like, you're so much fun, and like you like, and guys look at that and they want to have fun with you. But he was like, but you're not necessarily the girl that like you Netflix and chill with. I was like, because I like put off like I'm just too fun. So that's why I'm always like the other woman, and I'm like not girlfriend material, because they're like, oh, that looks fun, I want to hang out with that. So then they just get their little fun in, and then they go back to like their girlfriends or wives or whatever.
I don't understand that.
Their girlfriends or wives.
That's why. So maybe you're saying you're not girlfriend material because you're talking to married dudes?
Well, it's not. I'm saying it's like for some reason it always happens to me. Like people who are in relationships are attracted to me because I like am fun, you know?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I mean,
yeah, and it's not trying to talk to married dudes. It just always happens, and I'm always like, again? Like I think you guys saw me tweet like I like kissed a girl the other night because I was like, fuck boys, like let's try. And then she had a boyfriend, and I'm like, how does this happen?
That's hilarious.
That tweet inspired a tweet of mine where I tweeted right after.
I know, I saw a little subtweet.
Wait, what was it? Ooh, we're subtweeting in 2021.
It wasn't a subtweet. No, it was just a tweet inspired by it. And I said, I wonder if girls find it as attractive when guys kiss guys as guys find it attractive when girls kiss girls. Because dudes find it so attractive when girls make out. That's just like a thing. Like if you fucking grew up on the internet age, stop, Edwin. Don't.
Oh no. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just when you said that, a bunch of thoughts of women kissing in my mind. I had to, you know.
I mean, the answer is obviously no.
Yeah, obviously no.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Girls, I feel like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, think that girls would rather watch like girl.
Yeah.
kiss
Oh,
than,
of
like,
course. Oh, of course.
Kiss, like that's kind of gross. No offense.
Dude, Alex, it's
so
hilarious.
You wouldn't fuck with it if Ed and I just started making out? Okay, whatever.
Look, she'd have to write about it. That's how scarred she'd be. It'd be one of her sad moments, bro. It's funny because I talked to Devin about just like life or whatever, and she's like, yeah, if we ever break up, I'm never dating another male ever again. So Devin's going on the other side if this ever ends.
I know. I mean, I'm testing it out, and like we'll see. Because like, how fun would that be if I was with like a banging hot chick?
That would be sick.
I know.
What kind of chicks are you into? Are you into like girly girls, or are you into like Ruby Rose type shit?
I don't really like know yet. I'm just kind of like. I mean,
I've been definitely into Ruby Rose.
Brothers are gonna like fucking kill me if they listen to this. I'm like talking about making out with girls.
You're like into like the new Katy Perry. I'm into the old Katy Perry. That's the vibe I'm getting off you.
Well, I feel like I would like just a really like hot girl.
Yeah, but that's like relative.
Yeah, because like if I wanted to like be with like a more masculine looking girl, I would just be with a guy.
Fair.
No
Good point.
Good point. Canceled.
Imagine, right? She gets canceled because of this. Imagine that's the grounds that they have nowadays. Like that's what their standard is. So you're like, is that your way of bragging that you're rich? Do you drink LaCroix?
Hold on, you froze.
Is that your way of bragging that you're rich? That you drink LaCroix?
Frozen.
Oh my God. Am I here? Edwin's frozen. I'm still here. Am I not here? Alex.
Happening.
Can you hear me? Alex. I hear her, guys. I hear her. Edwin's gone. Edwin lost it. Can you see me? I feel like a ghost. You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm behind a prison cell behind the mirror. And I can see everything she's doing. Here, let me see if I leave and join.
We're back.
We're back. I'm recording again, by the way.
What?
I already hit record. I want you to explain what just happened. Why we just disconnected.
You unplugged the internet because it was getting too hot.
No. Okay, so first of all, we're talking, having a great time, discussing life, this and that, and all of a sudden, Arab freezes, and that's it's happened before. He freezes, we reset, whatever. and you're not frozen. You're still moving around, and I'm assuming I was frozen too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go, and usually it's not that big of a deal. It's just Discord being weird. Then I look over at my other monitor, and all my other shit isn't working. Like our entire internet just went down. I go to Eric's room, like, what the fuck just happened? So I go to his room, and we're just fucking sitting there. And he tries loading a tab, and it says Frontier. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it says like Frontier, like payment thing. So we're like, what? Dude, we have our internet. It's been on auto draft for the last 3-4 months.
We're running low on
right?
cash. Oh, we need a Series B investor.
So long story short, I don't know what the fuck happened. We're down bad, and you guys need to like, share, and subscribe is what we're trying to say, because our internet literally just cut out because we apparently didn't pay the bill.
But
so
I believe we're in the middle of something. We're in the middle of a spicy conversation, and I forgot what it was, but I feel like you remember.
Hey, but real quick, to be clear, that is Frontier's fault. All right, we are not broke. Okay, just making
We're
that
struggling,
clear.
and if you could please support us by subscribing and liking and leaving these videos on autoplay on your TV while you leave the house.
Yes, just keep them running, boys. Keep them running. Click the ads too. Actually, I'm not allowed to say that. Don't click. Wait. Anyways.
Oh, you can't say that?
No, you can't say that. No, seriously, I'm kidding. Do not do that. Only click the ads if you actually want something from the ads.
And what you want from all the ads.
Great disclaimer. Beautifully done.
I think you're in the middle of talking about your book, and then your ex told you something that's common, that you're too fun.
Yes.
You're too fun.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about you being a lesbian.
Oh, I mean, I don't like any of those labels. I think it's all stupid. I just like people, you know, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
People without penises. Next, that's the next spot you're treading to, right? So
yeah, I was my friends. I was like, "What kind of girl do you think? What kind of type?" And he was like, "Someone with a penis." And I was like,
damn, he called you a whore.
That's fine. I'm not. It's been a very dry summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Spicy, not spicy. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Evan.
Yo, as a side note, which I'm sure everyone's been like, wondering, that's been watching this. It's crazy that you live in a museum. You have the Mona Lisa behind the red ropes behind you. That's crazy.
Yep. In a museum. Got her straight out of wherever she's from, France.
Alex,
Hey, can
go ahead.
go ahead?
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, to add on to the fact that you're fun or whatever. I think you and I have had conversations about how, certain males probably are intimidated by you because of how successful you are and how strong-willed you are as an individual. And I think that, especially in your age group, that definitely dudes are intimidated by that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely think that's true. And then it's also, I was on a date with a guy the other night, and I was like, to be honest, there's not a lot that a guy can offer me because I already have everything. The only thing that someone can offer me is obviously sex and laughter. And that's
companionship, companionship.
Yeah, but see, is that a woman thing or is that a you thing saying that? Because I was reading the other day, it's it was something about a man and a woman, and it's a man, if he has nothing to offer, the world forgets about him. If a woman has nothing to offer, it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Because of men, we have to, our title, and obviously things have changed and women have more opportunities now, and patriarchy or whatever. But as a primal title, men's job is to protect women, right? So it's if a man has nothing to offer, they're useless.
Yeah.
But if a woman has nothing to offer, you still can offer companionship. You still can offer blah blah. So is that a you thing saying that, or is that a standard women thing? There's nothing I can get out of a man.
I don't I think it's different. I think that when you do give yourself everything, I have a successful career that fulfills me in that regard. I have an awesome dad. I have great relationships with my family. I'm really not missing that much.
Right.
And I feel a lot, especially women my age, as we get older, almost 30. I think a lot of girls have a timeline in their head where it's I have to get married. I have to have babies.
And that's why it ends up divorced. Because
and it's like for me, it was never like I never really had this timeline of like, oh, I want to have babies, I want to, get married. I just kind of always wanted to find like my complementary person. And I feel like a lot of girls just get obsessed about, the perfect family and the perfect wedding. And I just like never like care, like, I just don't care about those things because I'm fulfilled in like many other ways. So I think it's a successful woman thing. Like I have a lot of friends who are very successful, but they still have that timeline in their head.
So, I think that it's definitely like one of those things where, it's everyone else is doing it and you feel like the peer pressure or like just like the interpersonal pressure to do the same, because if not, then you'll be ostracized, like you're weird, you're different, and that's like the same reason why a lot of people fresh out of high school, they commit to paying $80,000 to go to college because everyone else is doing it, and because everyone else is doing like I always thought that shit was weird. I was like, bro, you're really committing to paying $100,000 to go to school for something that you don't even know you want to do yet?
I feel like a lot of times it's not even them paying it though; it's their parents. They don't feel that fear.
Yeah, but I feel you. But at some point, like I'm sure, like that debt will be passed off, or life isn't gonna be how they think it's gonna be. And for my example specifically, I know for a fact their parents weren't paying it. Like they were the ones that were gonna have to foot the bill, and it's like. And they justify it by the fact that everyone around them is doing the same thing. So if they're gonna figure it out, then they'll figure it out too.
Alex,
Yeah, I mean, you guys are totally used to that. It's like we all are kind of don't do the social norm thing. Like you guys like took a completely different career path, and I'm sure like everyone that you went into high school with. And it is scary, and it is kind of like a lot of pressure sometimes to like do things that are not like normal or along with like what everyone around you is doing. I feel like that all the time because I am much further in my career than a lot of my friends. And it does feel like kind of lonely sometimes that like if I want to talk business about someone, it has to be someone who's like, 40 or something. And then they kind of talk down to me and it's just it's lonely at the top.
Literally.
That was a good way to put it. Do you find yourself like, are you still friends with your high school friends and stuff and still talk to them? And is there like a competition there? Obviously you're at the top, but
Yeah, I mean, I really just have two friends, and my best friend I've known since I was 3. So like we've been through absolutely everything together. And then my other friend is like more like friends in the past 10 years. And she's managed to like have a pretty successful career. But I do see like if I want to make new friends that, most girls these days are like selling freaking Monet or they're on OnlyFans. And it's just like a different, like there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just different hustle than like what I'm used to.
Is that a common thing in the normal world? OnlyFans? Like I know it's like normie shit and they know what it is now, but is that a common thing? Because like in our scene, obviously gaming entertainment, like a lot of the girls have OnlyFans, but is that actually such a common thing? And do girls just have OnlyFans now?
I think it's like there's like two types of girls. There's the girl that found like, a decent career at like a desk job, but is still making, like pretty low level, but they're like married. Or you have the girls that were like bartenders, and like I was a bartender too, but I like had internships and stuff. These bartenders now they like are going to sell like Monet or like products on Instagram, and then they have OnlyFans. So there's just like two different like boxes of girls that I've found, and it's like people, both are my thing.
For people that don't know what Monet is, it's like an MLM. It's like it's like Herbalife and shit like that. So yeah, and I think you're absolutely right.
Monet, that's what it's called.
Yes.
Oh, my brother. My brother was the one called Modare. I don't know if you heard of that.
I don't know.
I never heard of Monet.
It sounds like the male centric version of that.
Is it products for like hair and facial and shit?
It's like shampoo and stuff.
Oh my god, it is the male centric version of that.
I told you, man. They didn't try too hard on the rebranding for the males, but anyways, as far as like the OnlyFans thing is, dude, I saw something that made me laugh my ass off the other day, bro, and it was that OnlyFans is making chicks finally understand what it's like being a local rapper. Cause they're like, oh, I'm gonna blow the fuck up, like I'm just gonna post my titties and get hella money and views and shit, and then they post their titties to 3 people and they made $12, and they're like, and
now they're naked on the internet, shit. And their homies have their nudes.
yeah.
I'm like, you are showing your whole body for like the low price of like $4 a month.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, I'm not gonna. the hustle. Like you go, you get your bag, girl. But I do think that a lot of girls like take themselves super seriously when they do like these multi-level marketing things, and then OnlyFans, and they try to act like we're doing the same thing, and it's almost like it's almost like a little insulting.
They're like we're both entrepreneurs. You're like, can you spell entrepreneur? Have you ever spelled that word?
Yeah, and I mean, I totally support all those girls, but I think that we all got to know like where we stand.
I always hated that word, entrepreneur.
Yeah,
because it's not what it used to mean.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays, entrepreneur, you say entrepreneur, people think you're like this kid who tried to build a business online and failed. And you're like the dude who stands in front of his car on Instagram paid stories and says, let me show you to make a quick $500. Dude, and he's like flaunting cash.
I'm on the dating apps, and if somebody says like self-employed or entrepreneur, it's like a red flag, which is fucking awful. I'm so judgy, but
no, look, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a successful entrepreneur, you don't describe yourself as an entrepreneur. You have like specific things that you've done or are associated with currently. And I will say, I feel like the word entrepreneur has kind of gone up and down, because entrepreneur way back when was like basically you're a scam artist, right? And then like at some point it was like, okay, being an entrepreneur is cool, like people get what it means. But nowadays, bro, everyone that doesn't have a job is an entrepreneur, basically.
Yeah, like you're an entrepreneur. Like let's say you're in marketing, like those people are that can make you quick $500 a day or whatever. Like your bio says fucking 50 billion add to carts, fucking sold 100 million net profit, shit like that. Like that's how they go when you actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's crazy how many people like scam their way to.
Dude, and you know what's hilarious? It's their lack of self-awareness that's funny to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like them, they really think they did something by putting that in their bio, entrepreneur. They're like, I fucking Googled how to spell this, bitch. Like I'm fucking killing it, But like to anyone that's actually like in the really being self-employed, actually have ran successful businesses, before you see somebody that says entrepreneur and you're like, all right, man, that's pretty vague, brother. What the fuck do you do?
Yeah. Saying like how it's like kind of almost insulting when people say stuff, because like my boss Jordan, who started Skinny Mixes like 13 years ago, like she's genuinely like an entrepreneur. She's
not gonna give you a raise, bro.
No, I'm super inspired by her story, because it was literally like she got a $5,000 loan from her mom, she quit her job, and she literally started Skinny Mixes out of her garage. And then she didn't hire her first employee until like 5 years, and she got into 800 stores in Bed Bath & Beyond with just her.
Wow.
Like entrepreneur.
Yeah.
A shark.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a badass. It's like she's like in her garage.
So is she your next target?
What do you mean?
Like when you become a lesbian.
Dude, Alex is like great. She's like, I'm just checking off the list of people that can no longer watch this episode. She's like, there's so many people that can't watch this now.
My dad, half the girls I know are going to be insulted. Like, I just completely canceled myself on my first interview.
Hey, unrelated. Did you have anything to do with the fact that your dad called me like 30 minutes ago?
Oh yeah, probably. He's like so jealous right now.
Why?
Because he was like, why are you getting on the podcast? And I was like, I don't know. I was like,
dude,
probably because someone.
Wait, really?
Dude, I've wanted your dad to be on the podcast. I have to go over there and set up a Discord for him, because helping you set up a Discord was like 3 lines of sentences. Helping him set up a Discord, I feel like would be a task. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And like he wouldn't look at the camera. He'd be like over there. Like it would be a disaster.
We'd have to do it in person with Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you ever like how often does it happen where people associate you just as the sister of fucking Turner or Jack? Because obviously where you guys are from and where you live, your local city, whatever, like they're superstars. People know that they live here, etc. When it comes to online, like and you actually build relationships with people they know, etc., or people in that scene, like people know that you do things and you code and you program and you have your own job that pays very well. How often do people like use that on you, like, oh, you're the sister of Jack or whatever, and how often does it even get to you anymore?
I mean, I think that's a big reason of like why I tried to separate myself, because people think that I have this career because of my brothers a lot of the time, which is so silly. Like if you actually think about like what, like if anyone knew like what I actually do, they would realize that that doesn't make any sense. And I just never like wanted to ride on their coattails. So it is kind of like insulting when people are like, oh, you know, your brothers are X, Y, and Z. That's how you got there. And I'm like, it doesn't have anything to do with that. I went on a date with a guy and he was like, you know, if your brothers weren't who they are, like, what would you be doing career-wise? And I'm like, the exact same doing right. But it has nothing
You're like, I'm gonna leave. Yeah, you're like, that's the answer. I need to leave.
Yeah, that was a bad date because he, like, could you imagine like sitting on a date with me and just only asking about my brothers? Like,
wait,
that's so awkward. That's some real fan activity.
Yeah.
So wait, why are you on here? I'm kidding.
Because you guys invited.
I know.
I'm just on here to flirt with you for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Alex.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked out of a date? Like, have you ever left? Has a girl? I don't like. Do girls actually do that? They just leave. Like, you're in a restaurant with a dude or whatever, and you just leave. You're like, all right, fuck, this is enough. Or do you always just tank it till the end?
Tank it. What a good way to describe it.
Well, I mean, I set myself up to give myself like a lot of exiting points. Like if it is going to be bad, I'll be like, hey, like I'm only having 2 drinks, or like, hey, I have to leave by this time. But I'm always super upfront with guys, especially more recently after I got ghosted really bad. And that was like the worst feeling ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I've made a point to be like, I'm not interested in somebody. I just let them know like, hey, you know, history's not there. It might like hurt their feelings a little bit, but it's better than just like
better that way than
wasting time. Yeah.
And I used to ghost people all the time and didn't think about it at all, because it's just easier to be like, oh, I was busy, like, and like, no, it's like if you're not interested in somebody, just tell them.
Yeah.
So it's tough, and I have the conversations, like I go on a ton of dates and I have the conversations all the time because like everyone sucks and everyone's
somebody
bored.
post this on Reddit on I Have Sex. That way, you ever heard that subreddit? You don't know what that is?
No.
It's like people bragging that they talk to the opposite gender. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, but on some real like basement dweller shit, they like brag about like having
it's like dudes on
with the other
Facebook,
sex.
like, yo, I just had the best sex of my life, like made her come 5 times, like, and they're like they'll post it on that subreddit and people would just like laugh. Have you ever thought of maybe quitting this whole corporate shit, coding and whatnot, and being a dating advice YouTuber and following in the footsteps?
About like doing that specifically, but like, you know, every time that I have to do some like stupid corporate meeting, or like, you know, somebody asks me just like a dumb question, I'm like, I can just start an OnlyFans. Like, I don't
nah, come on, dude.
People joke and I would never do it. I like love my career and I'm so proud of it, but like it's crazy that that's just like so accessible. Like I could just go and do that and probably make like the same amount of money.
Yeah, and then you have a reason to hang out with your high school friends again.
Yeah,
True.
I could just start a community.
Collab on the shoots, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I always tell Turner, I'm like, you know, 2 seconds away from just dropping everything and
Dude,
just
OnlyFans. Can I say something about your dad? Dude, your dad cracked me the fuck up, because years and years ago, there was a certain somebody that your dad didn't like, and your dad always was like, they're just gonna end up being a porn star, and he was right, dude. Like, he was right. That specific person ended up doing exactly what he said. And the funny thing about your dad, and I said this to somebody recently. Is it who I think
you're talking about?
No, you have no idea who this is.
Okay.
It was the cleaning lady, because she cleans 25th and here. But we always talk about your dad. I always bring him up. I always ask her how he's doing. Like, that's the first thing I ask, because she does our house literally after 25th, and I was telling her, I was like, we were talking about how your dad, like, his back was hurt, and how I was bummed to see that he was like basically like bedridden, couch ridden, like on the 4th of July, because on the 4th of July is really where he shines. He like he just like waits for people to accumulate in groups and then throws a firework in the middle of them. Like he loves doing that shit, right? And it was kind of sad seeing him like, you know, chilling on the couch all night. And I was telling her, I was like, you know, I told Jack specifically a while ago because him and your dad were arguing about something. I was like, look, bro, I get it. You're upset, this and that. I was like, someday he's not gonna have the same energy that he has now, and we're all gonna miss it. I was like, we're all gonna miss it. I was like, and that day is maybe approaching soon. I was like, so appreciate how crazy he is now, because someday he won't be like this. And then when he was hurt, I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, I hope like that day isn't creeping up on us or whatever. But I was telling the cleaning lady, I was like, I don't think anyone appreciates Richard as much as me and Alex do. I was like, genuinely.
He's like, I tell people all the time, like, my dad is actually my best friend. That's not like a joke or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we hang out every single day. We tell each other like almost everything. And yeah, it's awesome. That's another reason it's hard.
Your dad is literally like, I mean, your entire family is like a second family to me, but your dad has always been like, he's always imparted words of wisdom that I've always like really taken to heart. Like one, for example, that really, really stuck with me through the ages was, sucking ain't fucking and eating ain't cheating is what he told me. So
right. This is why I'm the way I am. Yeah.
This is why I hook up with married dudes. Yeah.
Right.
Alex, did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college actually when I was 16. I skipped high school completely.
How old were you? 15?
And 16, I just skipped basically whenever you go into high school, like 15, 16, I just skipped right past that and went straight into college.
What does that even mean?
Like I just took the like college entrance exam at like 15 or 16, passed, and then just went to college instead of high school.
Oh, casual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'm further in my, because I skipped, like I started my career when I was like 18, 20.
So
because I was already
what'd you go to college for?
I went originally for like business, I think. It was basically one of those things where it was like St. Petersburg College is now like a really big college recently, but when I started, it was super, super small. So every single degree that I wanted, they like cut the programming. It was like, oh, I wanted to do music. I was like, I thought that like producing would be cool.
Thank
and then
God
I wanted
they
to
cut
go
the programming, right?
Yeah, and you did like, you know, art, and they cut that program. And then eventually it was just like I got like my general, but I was like, I had internships. I was anything I wanted to learn, I just learned from YouTube. And yeah.
And now you can code fluently in what?
PHP, JavaScript. I use JavaScript more, but I don't actually code that. I mean, I code a decent amount, but with Shopify, it's like you don't even need to anymore. It's kind of awesome, but it's also kind of
it's all pretty automated.
Yeah.
Looking back on your college years, did they help you? Do you think they helped you?
I think that college for me was more of like a wake-up call into like how society treats children, because being homeschooled, I wasn't really around like any like authoritative figures. Like my parents always talked to us as equal. Like everyone else that I was around that was an adult, like spoke to me like I was an adult. And then going into college, you have like people just like talking down to you like you're an idiot. And I had never, ever experienced that until I was like 16 years old. So I think that that was really interesting to me. I was always in the dean's office being like, you know, like they're not really teaching us. They're just kind of giving us this thing, because I was so used to like hands-on learning. So it was just a wake-up call into like how society treats kids, and it sucked, and I didn't like it.
So now you treat kids like pieces of shit.
Oh yeah, just bullying all day long.
Good. There's content for that, by the way.
I think it's really cool that that you know your brothers and your entire family has had a very unorthodox upbringing to a degree. You know, like even you like going to college early is like not the norm, right? Like, and I think that it's cool to see that. I think there needs to be more examples of that in life. You know what I'm saying? Because there's such a norm that everyone follows to a degree, and it kind of leads everyone to the same shit, the same semi non-creative path. And luckily for me, I encountered a lot of creative people, and you know, shout out to my business partner Brandon. You know Brandon Marlovitz, like he's at the house sometimes. well, he was my first business partner ever, and he was the first person that introduced the idea to me of making money for yourself and not working for somebody. Like we were like 17 years old. I just got in a car. We both just got cars, and that's when like we started our first business and actually made money for ourselves. And the sense of pride and like the crazy like just epiphany you have when you're like, holy shit, I actually can make money by myself for myself. Like I don't need to clock in somewhere. Like some people never have that person in their lives that teaches them that, you know, that like they never have that epiphany. So I think that you and your siblings have had such a variety of experiences that have led you to all be pretty well-rounded individuals that, you know, have led you to kind of where everyone ended up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, our parents definitely like allowed us to have like a great life. It was just kind of like, hey, whatever you want to do here, here's what you get to do. I mean, I wound up in modeling, which was stupid. My parents should have been like, no, don't do that. But it got me my first job in tech. So
Modeling got you your first job in tech?
yeah.
You hooked up with one of the rich people?
No, this isn't one of those stories, although it would have been probably a lot easier. But no, I was modeling at the time, and then I found this company it was like a super small company, and I like looked at his website and I was like, oh, like I used to code, like let me check out the back end or whatever. And then that turned into like one of my second internships, and then it turned into a full-time job, and like I built their whole entire online presence. And then his name's Aaron. He's amazing person. He was the first person that like actually made me feel like my brain had value, because in modeling, they want you to basically not speak. You're just, you know, a person.
Yeah, you a lot of times assume the models are dumb.
Yeah. So he was the first person that was like, no, like you can do more than this. Your brain has value. Like what you bring to the table is actually something that you could use. So that was like a really big like change and like light switch for me. And then I was never able to like look at modeling the same, because he was really like, no, this isn't normal. Like people shouldn't be treated like this. Like they shouldn't be asking you not to eat. You shouldn't be having like guys like be creepy to you, like photographers and stuff. He was like, you can use your brain and like feel a lot better about yourself and what you're doing.
Is that guys being creepy to you and you not eating, is that necessary in modeling? Like, do you think that it's part of it based off, you know, what society desires nowadays, or yeah? I
think it's a lot different now. Like it really has changed. But when I was in modeling, like they told me I was a size 2 at the time. I'm an 8 now, so I'm much bigger, and I'm still really skinny. And they told me at the time when I was like a size 2 that I needed to lose 2 inches around like my hips and waist, and that was just the way that it is. And they would give me like tips on like how to lose weight, like super unhealthy.Ey'd be like, you know, you have this really big shoot tomorrow. If you drink like a ton of wine, it'll dehydrate you and you'll look skinnier.
Really?
Yeah, like
oh my god, I love that.
Here's how to grab that shit behind him, dude.
It's like, all right.
Red wine, white wine, like, what does that?
Red.
Red? Fuck yeah. I'm about to
He's like, I'm about to lose so much weight.
Yeah, but like they would do that, and I was getting measured every 6 weeks, and it like completely took over my brain, because it would be like I would go there and I would know that like if I didn't lose any weight, then it like I wasn't trying hard enough.
Okay, but is that necessary? And I'm not saying like obviously like being skinny, whatever. There's different types of models. There's skinny. There's, you know, fit ones. There's thicker ones. There's whatever. But is that a necessary, you know, evil in that industry that you have to do to be part of it, or is it something that like, you know, society tries to the way I see life is like there's different things you have to do for different jobs, and that's one of those things. Obviously it's unhealthy, but it's like one of those things that depending on what kind of model you are, like sometimes you have to deal with that shit. It's either that or go get something else, like go find another job, you know, like because isn't that because I know like the internet's very sensitive around topics like that, but like did you at the time feel like, oh shit, like, you know, they're fucking treating me like a piece of shit? What I mean, obviously they are, but it's like also like your job to so how do you feel about that? Because I don't know, I've never been in it, I've never had to deal with that, you know, like personally I'd fucking obviously I watch what I eat and shit, but like in modeling, it's super strict and whatever.
Well, it's basically how it was when I was modeling. Is designers, like really big designers, pretty much everyone, they make their clothes for a mannequin. They make one, you know, they make one piece and it's for a mannequin. So if you're not the size of a mannequin, you can't model. Because
that makes sense.
A lot of people don't know that. And it's so weird because it's like, yes, that's why models have to be so skinny, because designers, when they're making the stuff for their campaigns, for their runways, it's one size. And if you're not that size, then like, too bad.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
I think,
so that's where it came from, was like, you have to be this, and that's the end of it.
I think the modeling industry has definitely changed though, because I think it's definitely taken like a turn for empowering people of all shapes and sizes. You know what I'm saying? At least like most fashion. I know that there's still like those design houses or whatever that still only make stuff for like, you know, mannequins or whatever. But I think that there's definitely been a shift to that, and I almost hope that like that agencies or companies that give people advice like, oh, drink red wine so it dehydrates you, I hope that they get shit. I hope that they get like exposed for that, because that's kind of fucked up, to be honest.
Well, so let me ask you a question, both of you. So like when it comes to body positivity, right, the topic you're on right now, Edwin, and you have these industries pushing super plus size models that are fucking 400 pounds, you know, and like saying, yo, it's okay, like live with this. I disagree. Like, it's not okay. It's not healthy. You know, there's nothing wrong with having meat, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, having a belly or whatever. But there's these industry. Yeah, I know. Obviously, I'm not talking about your red wine thing. I'm just talking in general. Like nowadays, that's acceptable. That's acceptable because that's everyone's going for. All right, everyone should be treated nicely, and everyone should be told that it's okay. But it's not. It kills you. It kills you. Being that unhealthy kills you.
I completely agree. And we're dealing with that with our companies called Skinny Mixes. And obviously like the word skinny is like super like controversial, but it's just like our whole, like a healthier lifestyle. But Pinterest is actually like, you can't mention anything on diets anymore for paid on Pinterest.
Really?
It's completely gone. Anything with weight loss, anything on diet, low sugar, zero sugar, like keto, that's all gone.
Dude, I'm sure that Facebook ads is going to follow suit, because Facebook ads was weird about certain topics and certain like keywords back when I was like doing them for other shit. But to answer your question, Arab, I actually had this conversation recently with somebody, which was you know, the whole body positivity shit. If I had a friend who's overweight, I'm not going to shame him for being overweight, because that's his life. Do whatever the fuck you want, bro. Eat some fried chicken, eat whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. But if you ask me your opinion on whether I think like the way you are is okay, I'm gonna say no. I'm like, bro, like no, right. Like, you know, like I'm not gonna give you shit about it. But if you ask me for my opinion on it or whatever, like I'm gonna be like, no, bro, you're definitely overweight, and that's definitely not healthy. And like as a friend who cares about you, I'm not gonna tell you to like be fat, like whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I think the body positivity thing, I think it had a place in time where it could have been good, but it got taken too far. It was definitely from like the people that were bullied too for being big. They definitely took it and ran with it. They're like, oh yeah, you see, like it's okay to be this big. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
Yeah. I agree that it went too far. But then at the same time, people will like look at people like me and just either assume I have an eating disorder or assume that I work out a lot, and like both of those things are not true. Like I don't technically like deserve this body. I don't do anything to be like skinny. And I feel that's another thing, is I feel like people should be more open about that. Like this is not achievable for someone who does not have a metabolism. Like you cannot live my lifestyle if you do fast metabolism. Right. And that's
your whole family is blessed with that shit.
Yeah.
I am the opposite. My family's metabolism is, if you look at food, you gain weight. So we have to work out.
And that like, because it's like you probably try so hard, and then it's like I have just, a scale
like, right there, and I weigh myself every day. Every morning, I weigh myself.
I think I'm lucky to be in the middle. Like I feel like I can lose weight pretty easily, and I can gain weight pretty easily. Like I'm kind of like in the middle.
Like it comes with its advantages. Don't get me wrong. Like I can work out and get big much easier than other people, but that was unfortunate timing. I swear, I had to stretch. But like I can work out and get big like much easier than other people, but like that comes with gaining a fuck ton of fat because I'm I'm looking at food. So it's like,
Yeah.
like I don't know if I would have rather had the other extreme, which is you have to eat 5,000 calories a day to gain weight.
Yeah, and I mean, I had spine surgery 3 years ago and lost 30 pounds and like turned into basically nothing. Like I was the skinniest
that was 3 years ago. Oh my god.
3 years in November.
Oh my god. Excited. Time flies. Holy shit.
Congrats on your anniversary.
So that was, I mean, that was really tough for me because it's always been hard for me to gain.
Right.
And then having my spine sliced into,
why is
it became like 3 hard. I had a herniated disc, it collapsed, it exploded.
What does that even mean?
I didn't walk.
You just casual? Like a herniated disc exploded?
They said that when I finally got an MRI that it was so black that it had probably been herniated.
Like I get like when people talk about back pain, like my back starts aching. Why is that? Like,
no.
It's like it's only with back pain too. Like maybe I have a lot.
And mine was horrible because it sat on the sciatic nerve, which that's what gives you feeling like in your entire body. So I was having like pain from literally the tips of my toes, like into my face. I would have these like spasms where I like couldn't move. But yeah, they popped the disc out and then I still am not back to like my original weight because working out is incredibly hard after you have a surgery, especially when it's your spine. Like they sliced into my spine. Muscles will never be the same.
Yeah.
That's a struggle. And then all the bullying that I went through after that, people would be like, wow, you're so skinny. Like you look disgusting.
Well,
like, are you okay?
People
need your surgery.
People in real life, or was it a lot of it was online just because of being, in the internet world?
It was both. And it like a lot of people would be like my friends, like kind of concerned and it'd be like, just use your brains. Like I didn't walk for 3 months. I had spine surgery. Like I'm okay. I'm just recovering. And I think that women deal with that too. Like when, they have babies and you can't bounce back immediately. Like it's the human body. Like we can't just, back up and be good. Cause I mean, I couldn't even like tie my shoes for 6 months. I couldn't like literally physically tie my shoes. So I wasn't out there like lifting.
I mean, I guess that's where the idea gets dangerous of body positivity on both sides, like the super extreme high and super extreme low. There's unhealthy amounts, and then sometimes there's shit that you just can't deal with because you had fucking spinal surgery.
Yeah, and then like even when I was like had really unhealthy eating habits, that's when everyone was like the nicest to me, and no one was concerned with how skinny I was because I was modeling and because I was successful, and I was like. And everything that I was doing, like my lifestyle was terrible, but everyone was like, oh my God, she's a model. This is all that. And then I get spine surgery. And then all of a sudden it's like the way that people react to things is so interesting.
When you were modeling and you were super, eating like nothing and dehydrating yourself, was there health differences? Were you getting sick more? Were you?
I think it wasn't so much like physically, like I was probably like I was doing terrible things to my body, but it was more like mentally. And then like it took a long time to like have a good relationship with food.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure like you're thinking about calories probably like all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I am
all the time.
I am, but I also don't get me wrong. I also eat whatever the fuck I want, but I think about calories. So it's like my idea is, okay, let me eat healthy like here and here. So like, let's say I finish a burger and there's extra bread on the end of it. I'm not going to eat it. And it's like, my idea is like, all right, let me save the 50 calories here. Let me save the 100 here, whatever. So that way when I want to go to Taco Bell every other night, I can.
Yeah.
So it's like
it cracks me when he does it, bro. We were at Epcot the other day and we're doing like the food and wine festival. And I see Arab eating the shit, and he'll eat like the main part of something and just leave like the crust or like the outskirts of it where it's like there's like no meat or anything on it. He's like, that's 50 calories I don't need. It just cracks me up, bro.
The way I do it so that I can eat everything is I'll buy a bunch of shit and I'll split it with people. I'll give people like I'll go with Edwin. I'll go like half seas with a steak quesadilla, That way I get to try the steak quesadilla, but I don't have to deal with the 400 calories. Because I got to count everything. It's like if I go over 2,000, I'm gaining weight or I'm not progressing. So it's like,
So are you like that for like health, or is it more like vanity fueled?
No, it's there's partial vanity.
Yeah.
Obviously there's vanity, like I want to lose, you know, the belly. I don't have like a big stomach. But no, I mean I've been working out for like 8 years, and I love how it makes you mentally and physically feel. You feel better. Like you can be absolutely exhausted one day, awake for fucking 15 hours, and if you push yourself to work out, one, you'll feel the discipline, you'll feel accomplished, and two, you'll feel great after. You'll feel like fucking wide awake. It gives you a crazy burst of energy. So there's that aspect there, but also just like, I mean, if I don't watch what I eat, then I don't get to eat whatever I want, if that makes sense. So like, yeah. I work out so that I can eat whatever the fuck I want. That's why I work out. There's obviously a vanity part there, right? When you work out, you want to see that you're progressing and you look better.
Yeah, well, I would be like, you're lying. So
if what?
If you said no, that it wasn't for a little bit for vanity, I would say you were lying.
No, there is.
So.
The vanity's there. Yeah, I want to see progress, and I want to do better, but it's not about like, I'm not like in people's faces and shit like, dude, look at me, like I don't talk about like, you know, the thing I talk about what it comes to is like, okay, I can't eat this. Like that's what I talk about. I'm never like, yo, look at me, like I'm so jacked now, like, you know, like, oh, I feel, you know, it's never like in your face shit. It's more just, I literally work out so that I can eat double. So here's a story. Here's how I like to explain it. My mom, you know, walked up to my uncle one day. This was like 6 years ago, and she goes, his name's Charbel. She goes, Charbel, you work out every day for 2 hours. Yeah, I've never seen you get more fit. Why? He goes, listen, I work out so that I can eat double. And and that's like and like that's my philosophy. Like I work out, you know, so I can eat, let's say not double, let's say I'm using like 100% of the calories that, you know, I use to progress. I'll eat like 90% of them, and then I'll progress 10%. So it's like I work out so I can eat. I love food. That's me, you know?
No, food is like my favorite part of life. But then it's like on the opposite side of it, if I eat a salad or something, people are like, why? Like, why do you do that? Because you're skinny. I get asked that question all the time. If I tell someone I'm going to a workout
and you're in the mood.
And I'm like, you can care about your organs also, you know? It's so funny when people are like, why are you eating that? Or why are you doing that? You don't have to. And it's like, you know, there is more to life than the way that you look. Yeah. Even though it's...
I care a lot about my my lungs, especially. Like, that's why... like I'm cool with people smoking weed and people whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I personally don't really smoke maybe once every 2 months. Like, and it's for that reason, because I hate smoking. Like I'd rather, even that once every 2 months, I'd rather it be an edible. So it's not fucking up my lungs. So it's like, I you know, you're going back to the vanity thing. Like I really care about my body in that sense.
Dude, here's my health claim to fame. My health claim to fame is that I've drank less alcohol than probably everyone in this call. Like, period.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, and let me tell you why. Because when you drink, you drink.
Yeah, but it's once a year. It's like twice a year. So it's like there's no way. And plus, I didn't start like drinking until like, dude, I don't know, like not. Honestly, your fucking brother's half the reason I have done most of my drinking degeneracy, Miss Tenny. So your family, actually your family in general has enabled my degeneracy through the years, man. If it wasn't for your family, dude, I would.
He'd be working logistics right now.
Yeah, for real. No, I always talk about how like if it wasn't for your family specifically, my life would be way different, dude. Like incredibly different. Like I don't even know where the fuck I'd be right now.
I mean, I'd probably be
short hair probably.
I'd probably be in Georgia still because
he'd be
your
in Georgia.
Life would be different.
100%.
I wouldn't have met you. I would have never moved to Florida.
Yeah.
You understand? I moved to fucking state. I left everything. I left my family.
No, dude, it's crazy to think about, bro. It really is, man. How like that whole just meeting your family and being a part of it, like it has changed my life, which changed his life, which, you know, like it's a big domino effect, which is crazy. It's but at the root of it is just degeneracy. It's just pure degeneracy.
We meet you, Edwin. I was thinking about that this morning. It's like, how did you meet our squad?
Well, we all skated and surfed, like that's what it was. Like
Skateboarding.
So specifically it was we'd all meet up at garages, and there was like friends of friends that like got hit up to go skate, and like I would come.
You look like
I was
you work
one
at a
of-
garage.
dude, dude, you know how much money I'd pay to watch Arab try to bomb okay, that's bad word to use. We call it bombing a garage is when you go from the top of the garage all the way to the bottom. Not what you think, Arab. Not what your people are used to. Anyways, I'd pay money to try to see Arab try to go all the way
Is there
down
a
on a
term
parking
for
garage
like
on
bombing a
longboard.
tower, like in skating?
Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
What?
Anyways, but yeah, so Alex, to answer your question, it was just like mutual friends, like longboarding, skateboarding. You know, it's funny. You know, the first picture I ever remember seeing of your brother was ever. It
What?
was I think it was like after a surf expo, bro. And I'm picturing the picture right now, and he was like a little kid, bro. But I don't remember which house he was at, but he had a bunch of stickers all over the table, and he was like, "Yo, if you want a sticker, like come get one, whatever." Do you remember that picture? I feel like maybe you do.
Yeah.
But
It's like his first like run of stickers or something, and he was so proud.
no, it wasn't even that. It was he went to Surf Expo and he got it was before before Joogsquad was like before the logo was it was before any of that. You know what's funny? You know, I'm the one that like made the logo. Like I was the one that like vectorized it and shit. Like I did it all in Illustrator and shit. But
Yeah,
no,
right.
there's a right? Nah, I should. Dude, no, there's this picture of your brother. He had to have been like, dude, like fucking 15, 14 years old or something. And he had it was like a big table. It was all full of like Surf Expo stickers that he got for free. And he was basically like giving them out for free. But that was like the first time I ever saw your brother on the internet. It was on Facebook. But
Wow.
do you
what a
remember
sight.
do you remember the shit that happened with Kevin? With the sand ramp? Do you remember that?
Refresh me.
How I had to take him to the hospital
No.
with the kidney.
No.
Oh my God, you might not even know it happened. You might be unaware of this. Alex, we had, you know, Kevin, like our friend, like Kevin, Black Kevin, right? Like our homie with the
Yeah.
dreads and shit. Dude,
Yeah.
he did
Kevin's
the
black?
sandboard ramp with us, right? He did the sand ramp with us, like you remember the sandboard, the shit we did in the backyard.
Explain it
Dude,
to people listening.
Okay, so long story short, me and her brother, we dug a giant hole, and it was for a completely unrelated project. We just like dug a giant hole, and we put like pieces of plywood over it, and then we put sand over it, and like we're like popping out of the hole, like scaring people on the beach type shit. Well, when we were done with the hole, there was like we moved all the shit, and there's still a giant, massive hole just in front of our eyes, and we're like, well, fuck, we can turn this into a ramp. So there was like a 6-foot hole, and we turned the 6-foot hole into like a dip, like into a perfect ramp that went out like 10 feet, because then we made a ramp out that was like, you know, 4 feet out. So it was like 6 feet, like 6 feet down, 4 feet out. And it went all the way from their fucking house in the backyard. And we had this thing called a banshee bungee, which is basically a bungee cord that you anchor into like the ocean, is where we did it. And it took 2 people to stretch it out all the way to the house. Yeah, and then the person that was up would grab it, and they would get on this dirt board, and we'd let go, and the person would fly, dude, go like 0 to 30 miles an hour, like fast as hell. But the thing is, you had to go straight, and then you had to let go of it and dip down. Like you had to like pump down the dip, and then you had to like go up and out, right? Well, like that you know that if you're an experienced skateboarder to any degree. Well, Kevin was not. And Kevin did not know that that's how that was supposed to go.
This is why I'm afraid to do shit with you.
So Kevin went, and he never let go. And instead of taking the dip down and successfully exiting, he just got fucking dragged 30 miles an hour and fucking crashed into the plywood. And he crashed so hard. And we were all like laughing and shit, because like we were all eating shit. And so he gets out, he's like, you know, like whatever, and we're like, all right, bro, like, you know, brush it off, whatever. 10 minutes later, he's like, yeah, man, he's like, I think I'm gonna roll out. And I was like, oh, okay, bro, like, I hope you feel better, like, my bad, whatever. And he like goes away. So, and I'm here to claim that I saved his life, because
Okay, David Dobrik. Okay.
if I wouldn't, if I wouldn't have answered the phone, he wouldn't be doing too hot. But anyway, so he calls me. He's like, hey bro, he's like, I need you to take him to the hospital. I'm like, what the fuck? Where are you? He goes, I'm at the surf shop down the street. He's like, can you come get me? I'm like, oh my god, yeah, absolutely. So I drove him to the hospital, bro, and we had to sit there for like forever. But long story short, they found out that his kidney like exploded, and the dude was like, did you get in a fucking car accident? Like, did a truck hit you? And like explaining that was tough. And but anyways, yeah. So it's crazy that you probably didn't know that happened in your own backyard. But to be clear, it wasn't in your backyard. It was in the public beach area for the sake of lawsuits potentially.
Jack didn't use that as like clickbait because like every one of his videos is like almost died.
Yeah, because that one had actually.
No, that one would have actually been a legal issue. And the funny thing is, I think if anyone has that clip to this day, it's probably me. I think I'm the only one that has it somewhere.
I kind of want to watch that.
Body.
It's in my.
Let's go skateboarding now, bro.
This is why I'm afraid to do shit. This is why with Edwin, I'm not afraid to do shit, but I make sure I get all the details and I go slowly. Like when I went to ride a bike for the first time. This is like 3 weeks ago. No,
not
4
a
weeks
bicycle,
ago.
like a dirt bike.
A dirt bike. Yeah, like I fucking, what do they call it when you throttle when you fuck up
I
the
didn't
clutch?
I didn't want him to. Oh, he kept stalling out. He kept stalling out. I didn't want him to whiskey throttle, which is where the bike goes so quickly forward and your body stays that your hand just cranks it and it keeps going and like it like wheelies or he'd hurt himself for sure. So he was trying to avoid that.
So I just took my time and they made me look like a bitch on the vlog. They put up me whiskey throttling fucking 40 times in a row until it finally went. But now I can ride a bike.
No, if you whiskey throttled 40 times in a row, it'd be way more entertaining. No, you stalled out 40 times in a row.
Alex.
Yeah.
So you're successful. You're gonna write a book about dating advice. You know, you program. But who is your celebrity crush?
Like male or female?
Both. Great.
Well, it's funny because they're actually dating because it's Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox.
Nice.
Like, men,
perfect.
Man.
So like 1 day surgeries are gonna get really, really good.
Yeah.
Where you like can't tell the difference, like if someone was born a male and is now a female, you know, they've done all of, you've heard of Nikita Dragon.
Yeah.
So sexy. I'd bang if she was a woman. Anyways, so if she was born a woman, sorry. So
semantics.
You know. So 1 day surgery can get really, really good. Imagine Megan Fox, everything about her is the same, but she's still got a penis. And imagine Machine Gun Kelly, everything about him is the same, his voice, his body, but he's got a vagina. You have to go down on one. Who are you going down on?
Megan Fox for sure.
It's an easier question
Megan
for the
Fox.
girls.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's a really easy answer for the girls. Well, that's what we would do anyway. The girl with the dick.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of weird.
Is that more weird than going down on a dude with a vagina? Tell me that's more weird.
No,
I dare you.
No, I think that women are naturally like we're the more beautiful of them.
Right.
Of the
That's
people.
why girls can take nudes of them just standing still and guys can't just fucking take nudes like that. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I received a dick pic for the first time recently and I was so disturbed.
Right?
Dude, okay, dude.
Can we talk?
Listen. No, stop. Listen. I try being the voice of reason to my chat because I know they don't. I try being the dad in their life that went and got milk and never came back, right? Because some of these dudes they needed this advice, and I gave it to them the other day, which was, I was like, fellas, listen. I was like, I've been on this earth for quite a bit of time now, and it does not exist. A picture of my shit does not exist, bro. I was like, don't ever send dick pics, man. I was like, for a couple of reasons. One, it's weird. Two, the chicks don't actually appreciate it. They don't look at it and say to themselves, whoa, that's a nice dick. Never. That never happens in the history of ever, right? Have you ever looked at a dick? It looks like
Stop.
it looks like it's.
Listen, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. But you can have a nice dick.
Yeah, you can have a nice dick, but that's like saying you're the smartest person in a room full of retards. Like, it's like the best case of a bad situation. Like having a nice dick, it's still a dick. But my point is, look, I'm just saying I tried giving them the advice of don't ever send dick pics no matter what, just because you don't want that shit existing. I was like, and listen, man, if you're gonna send one, if you really have to, just use Google, bro. Just find one. Just send, you know what I'm saying? Send a nice one. You know, it'll be dark. She won't know it's not the same dick. That's good advice.
No, that's not. Just don't.
So when you get a dick pic, what's your initial reaction?
Well, this was the first one that I had ever received, and it was completely like unsolicited.
So
it was like from a guy that like forever ago, and he just sent it to me, and I was like,
really?
Yeah.
So what is that? So when that happens to you, what are your thoughts? Because like, you know, there's different ways that people deal with that. You know, some people might fucking post about it and go, oh, sexual harassment. Some people might be just like, all right, whatever. I used to hook up with him. Like, send me a dick pic. I don't fucking care for it. You know, it's like if I'm talking to a girl or there's a girl that I used to hook up with and she sends me a nude, like, I'll be like, okay, whatever. You know, like I'm not going to be like, oh, fuck, this is unsolicited shit. You know, like.
Oh, no, that's going straight in the vault. What do you mean?
The vault. People have those apps. I've never had one of those.
That's not an app. It's a hard drive. Anyways.
So what are your thoughts?
I think that like, I've been in long distance relationships before, and I think there's like a time and a place for like a dick pic. And I could see how if I was in a long distance relationship that maybe I would want to receive one. But receiving like an unsolicited one or like a guy that you're just kind of like talking to, it just seems kind of like, ugh. Like,
yeah, but is that automatically, are you walking out the date? Like, are you done there? Yeah. Or are you like, maybe I kind of like him. Yeah. It depends on how big the image is and the fucking, yeah.
Hey, listen. So for the fellas out there that do send dick pics that don't care who sees their dick, right? Here's another piece of advice, all right? And it's just for jokes. If you want, go to a movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Sit in the movie theater, have yourself a nice time, and turn on AirDrop. And then just let her rip. You know what I'm saying? Just let her rip. You know? Ever thought of that? If you're really trying to get it out there, I'm just helping you guys
and make
out,
sure your seat number is on the AirDrop.
No, you got to put your on the bottom.
All right. Anyways, Alex, I would say what are your socials, but I know you don't like to put your socials publicly as you are private. I mean, is your Instagram public, right?
Just don't be mean to me. Yeah, no, my Instagram's public. I just don't want people to be mean to me.
Go send Alex dick pics in her.
Oh my God, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be like my whole request now.
Okay.
I'm not opening a no.
But can they, without being considered sexually harassing, can we see what their pull is? Can we see what our pull is here? Like, can we use you as a test?
Yeah.
Okay, go send Alex dick pics.
No, dude, come on.
and say you're from the podcast.
You know what? You know, if you're really from the podcast, Sharpie a B and an R on it, and then that's how we'll know.
No way! Imagine she gets BR dicks. Yo, that would be like we made it. Like
yeah,
yeah. She made it.
Yeah.
Wow. This was not manifesting.
Make sure to check out Alex on her Instagram. It's in the description. If you guys fuck with her, if you don't, block her on everything. Thank you guys for making it to the end of the podcast. If you guys enjoy these kind of podcasts, you know, where we get to see an inside look on people who aren't on the internet but kind of are. Yeah, drop a like. We'll catch you guys on the next podcast. Peace.